Hello, Raminta. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. Really nice to see you again. And our next series about the narcissistic personalities and relationship with them. How you feel?
I'm doing good. How are you? It is so nice to see you again and talk about. I'm excited to talk about this new topic about narcissism and narcissistic personalities and what they do.
Yes, and today we will talk about our topic is about constant need of admiration. I think that it's very relative to the narcissistic personalities. So, how you would describe maybe from I think that everybody will understand what it means the constant need of admiration, but maybe you can explain it in a simple way by examples.
Yeah, sure. So first, I want to describe that what is the difference between constant need of admiration by a narcissist, and there is a what is it meant for a normal person who likes praises and compliments, but what is the difference between the two? So, a normal, healthy person, normal, I'm going to use the word normal here as opposed to a narcissist. So, no offense to anybody. So, a non narcissistic person, he or she would like praises, like compliments. It's a healthy thing when somebody gives you positive compliments. You're looking so beautiful. I like your clothes, or you did a very well job on this or that, and it's a good feeling, right? And you feel good about it. That's a normal, healthy thing to do. But for a narcissist, this praise and this constant need for external validation and constant need for external approval is something that they thrive on, they feed on. And if they don't get it, they really get upset, they get nasty, and they start throwing a tantrum. This is not healthy. This is something not healthy. So, for example, I know a narcissist. She's a social acquaintance. She's not a friend of mine, but I have seen her. I know her. She kind of exaggerate her actions. For example, whenever she hosts a party, she over explains or over emphasizes what little thing she's doing that everybody does normally. uh, for example, I had to pick up my kids from school. I had to take him to this activity, to that activity. I'm working so hard. I'm working at my job, or things of that sort. She's exaggerating. Everybody is doing this stuff. This is everyday stuff. What is everybody doing? But not looking for external validation. But she is like, so that people could praise her and say that, she's really working hard. She's so good. They want to look superior to others, and they can do everything in order to prove that they are better than others. They're more smarter than others. They are more beautiful than others. They're above others. That's how they do it. They buy expensive stuff. They do nicer things to other people and go above and beyond to feel more popular, more cooler than other people, and constantly looking for this positive feedback. They want people to always say nice things about them, and that's what they thrive upon. This is what their purpose is. I mean, they don't care about anybody else but themselves. So this is the way I'd explain that. They're looking for constant validation from others. They have low self-esteem. They are not sure of their own self-worth. They don't feel that they have a purpose in life, so all they do is try to look nice, try to look good in front of people, and try to look the best, though they don't feel deeply inside that they are really good. They have low self-worth and self-esteem inside.
This is what I wanted when you started to explain about the narcissistic need of admiration. We will talk a little bit deeper because we have time for that. But I want a little bit to come back to low self esteem, because there are two difference. Don't misunderstand, because what you explain sometimes, that need of admiration is when I have a low self-esteem, and it's more like I cannot make decision, that's why I'm asking other person. It's
Yes,
like a little bit different. When you have a low
that is different.
self-esteem, you are asking that because I'm not sure if I'm doing good. I'm not sure if I am really doing a good decision. Those people who have low self-esteem, usually they are asking a lot of people before they making decision, and they even feeling guilty that they made that decision. But narcissistic personality, that it's really, for me, I really explain what you just shared about your friend, because I lived with my mom who had some narcissistic behavior. She's not diagnosed as a narcissistic personality, but like these small things that she was doing, usually like making food, or I don't know, cleaning our clothes. So, and she always like punishing us for that, oh, I did so much for you, I made you a food, but like I'm a child. How 5 years old child could make a food for himself, like,
Yes.
and like, I'm doing so much for you and you not, like, not value it. And then she's throwing away the food and not giving me us like food for 1 or 2 days, while she's going through that high emotions in her to validate that. So I remember that, because this is what how you explained very well. This is what everybody are doing. All mothers are making food for their kids, and they don't need admiration for that.
Yes.
And like, it's not, it's in them, it's feeling of admiration. It's not about low self-esteem, it's about the validation that you should value me for what
Mhm.
it's general needs, what other person would do for others in a normal
Absolutely.
relationship. But because they don't have that emotional understanding, emotional intelligence, they don't understand that this is what others also doing.
Hmm.
And it's normal.
Yes, it's normal. And again, they're really throwing the tantrum because they're not getting any validation is a pathological sign. It's a sign that they're not mentally healthy. They're not, again, emotionally healthy, emotionally intelligent to connect with their emotions and think like they're doing it out of care. They should be doing it out of care and a normal way of living rather than just doing somebody a favor and just asserting them on others. And if they don't get the validation, they are angry about it. They have an angry outburst about it, and that is not normal. That absolutely is not normal. There is something wrong with this person.
Yes, I agree about that. But going back to constant admiration, yes, that I constantly need to be admired. What you would say about this behavior, like how you see the breakdowns? We already talk about, okay, if you are not admired, I'm starting to be angry. Like I shared, like I'm starting to, I don't know, my mother starting to throw away the food because I won't make food for you. What you would say the breakdowns when it's showing up more externally, not internally, because they are manipulating that you would admire me on the simple things. But when is that breakdown, when they started to express that externally?
Breakdown, you mean their meltdown or their tantrums? Are you talking about
Yes.
that?
Yes, anger, like behavior, abusive behavior, because it's going to that. At first, you don't recognize when you start relationship with that person, but then it's like that breaking point, when they are starting to be aggressive.
I have seen, according to my experience, I have seen that they first, what they do is love bomb you, right? And they make you feel that they really love and care about you. Now, you don't realize at first. You don't realize at first because you start thinking emotionally that this person is really caring. It's a loving person, and there is nobody else who could care about me the way this person can, right? So this is how they start the relationship, and you don't realize you become dependent on them. And when you kind of become independent on them, this person starts getting angry inside, but he wouldn't express it outside for a little while. But when he is tired of that because he's exhausted, he is looking for validation, and he's doing all that love and care and love bombing out of that need and not for really real place of compassion. He starts getting tired of that, right? Because he's not sincere inside. He starts getting exhausted internally, and you don't even know, right? And suddenly, when he throws angry outbursts at you and you don't know what's going on, it is just happening inside him. And you cannot realize, oh my God, what happened to this person? He used to be so nice and so caring. Why is he so angry at me suddenly? What happened to him? But what happening is inside a sudden change in his behavior is that he is exhausting internally because he is not getting what he wants from you. And he wants you to recognize his nice behavior that is supposed to be doing for himself inside selfishly. uh, he wants you to recognize, but you're not taking it for granted, but you're really happy about it. You feel really on top of the world that you got this best person in your life. uh, but you are a genuine person. You don't want to overpraise any person, right? You don't want to overpraise and give compliments on little things. This is just not normal. But this narcissist person is thinking that you are supposed to give compliments even over little normal things that nobody does, right? It's just not a normal thing to do. So that's how when they start getting internally exhausted and they're like, oh, I have done so much, I'm done with this person. She's not even valuing me, or she's not even realizing how much I'm doing it, the stuff for her. That's how they start getting mad and suddenly outbursts. Like internally they're like, I'm done now. I have to, just show my real face to her. I have to put my mask off now and show her my real face. And the victim just gets surprised and shocked that what happened. Everything was so
Yes.
normal. Everything was going
I, you
fine.
know, I just remember I was in a relationship and everything looks quite good. We are starting to talk, like to know each other. And then out of nowhere, some simple thing, I remember it just clicked that person. And he started asking me, do you love me?
Yes.
Do you love me? I talked with you for so long. Last time we talked for 2 or 3 hours and you don't value it. Do you really love me? And for me was a shock.
Yes,
Like, how? Like,
exactly.
and it was like, from where? It's like, why I have to answer this question now? Usually when you have a feeling to some person, that person won't go in front of you and asking you, like, do you love me? Do you really love me?
Yes.
Because it shows that this is something really internal that he don't understand, that my love, it's not the way that person feels love. And then you are starting to ask, okay, so how I have to show that love to this person,
Hmm.
what I did wrong. Like, and this is, then you understand that you are just not admiring him.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is that these people do not love themselves, though they're selfish, very very selfish. They always have some kind of internal motives behind every action, every behavior that they do, but they really lack the emotional depth of self love. They can never understand that. They lack emotional intelligence, emotional connection with themselves as well as others. That's why they're seeking for reassurance from other people. For example, you and I, we'll have some level of self-love in ourselves, right? We give importance to ourselves to, I mean, everybody has his own level of self-love or own way of expressing self-love. These people don't even know what self-love is. That's why they're seeking it from other people to get that external admiration, just like you said, to get that feeling inside. They're kind of forcing it on themselves or want to force it on themselves from other people. And when they don't get it, they start getting suspicious that, is this person really loving me, because she's not showing any sign of anything, or not behaving or acting in a certain way, not saying it. Does she even love me? Because just internally they don't love themselves. They don't even know what's that. That's kind of sad and very unfortunate.
Yes, but we don't need to be very empathized by that and thinking that,
Absolutely.
okay,
Yes.
if we give him enough love, maybe he will understand who he is and starts to love himself.
Yes.
Because this is where you are like, because of that, after that, do you love me? There is, or do you see me, or can you do this for me? It's just a small thing, despite the fact that maybe for you it's a big thing and you want to explain that. But this is where you are starting to be trapped, because that admiration always has a levels. At
Mm-hmm.
first I would say it's level very high, that looks very normal, like, okay, I don't know, are you happy that I bring you flowers at home? And then you say, yes, I'm happy. And then they are starting to lower the love bombing and
Mm.
starting you to be happy about the simple things that it's normal to do, but they won't do that normally. And this is where the admiration is for this simple thing. I don't know, that he is at home. For example, he came back home
Yeah.
to sleep, not to some mistress, and you are admiring that. Oh, how much you did for me,
Yeah.
because I have and that examples from my clients' experience. Like, when you are starting to admire a person, even for his bad behavior,
Yes.
he's behaving bad, but you're supposed to admire that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, these things sometimes don't make sense to you, and your instincts are telling you inside that there is something wrong here, and just you're doing this to make him happy or please him, just to please him, even his wrong things. This is where you realize that there's some reason behind it, and there is something wrong here, and we need to, you feel like you need to explore this relationship more, and how to manage it. It becomes difficult and challenging at that point.
Yes, because I think that after this step, after that breakdown, when narcissistic personalities are starting to ask for admiration, you are starting to please that person and give more attention to his actions that you won't miss when to admire him,
Hmm.
because otherwise you already saw that personality, and it starts to be more and more abusive, what is going to your self lowering your self-esteem, because you are not seeing me. You, like, this is also a lot of blame, that you are not admiring that personality for what
Exactly.
he's doing.
Yeah, I agree with you, because when that person, when the narcissist is making you, feel that you're not valuing him, or you're not, you know, looking at his little things and praising him, you don't give importance to him. The victim sometimes starts buying that. Sometimes the victim starts believing that, I'm not good enough in the relationship. I'm not valuing him enough. Maybe, he needs more love, or he deserves more love than I give him. And sometimes when you talk to other family members, and they also kind of start telling you these things, that oh, you should do this for him, you should do that for him, you should make good food for him, bring flowers, give him nicer prizes, what he likes you should do more often, whatever this person likes. But actually, Then you're like, okay, you're trying harder and harder, and your self-esteem is really low at this point. Your confidence goes down because inside you're thinking you're not enough, right? And you're trying harder and harder, and it is mentally actually affecting you. It is draining you out, and it has no positive, what I want to say, there is no payback for that. It is not worth, still not worth it, because you really are not enough for him, because he's never going to be satisfied, he's never going to be happy no matter what you do. So on one hand, your self-esteem and confidence is going down. On the other hand, relationship is becoming more and more dysfunctional, and this person is not changing his behavior. So for you, it's like a lose-lose situation, but you have to be in this relationship. You feel like you have to be in this marriage. You somehow you gotta do something to make the relationship work. So that's how many females fall into these traps, because they are caring by nature, they are nurturing by nature, they are loving, and I am an empath, and I was really depressed that I'm not contributing enough to the relationship, because I was thinking that it was my fault all the time. I was thinking that it was my fault, and he's right all the time. And I was sometimes I was blaming my parents that they did not guide me enough, or did not train me enough to how to be happy, how to be a good wife, the things of that sort. Sometimes my I was talking to my sisters, and I felt like, oh my god, they do so much, and their husbands are so good, they value them, but I'm not good for some reason. um, so that depressed me a lot. I stayed in depression for a longest period of time, and gradually I realized that it was not actually me, it was him. But that took a long time. It was a whole process. It took many, many years for me to realize what was really going on with me.
I agree. And what I also want to pick from your explanation, that other suggestions, for example, to bring a flowers to be nicer, it's very normal suggestion,
Yes,
because in a normal, functional, healthy family,
yes, yes.
healthy
This is normal.
relationship, this is normal. This is what really makes people, other person, to feel that he is seen, that you care about him, and you understand that, and you are looking for that information, what to do that that partner will be happy. But then
Absolutely.
you see always a disappointment, or
Yes,
always even blame that you did something wrong, you did not. Like, I remember with my ex-husband, every time when I give him a present, a gift during his birthday, or during the Christmas period of time, I pick the present that I think that he is really interested. He was always blaming me that I'm spending too much money, no matter that it was from my savings. So he was never really satisfied, never really happy for
yes,
what he's getting. And
yes,
other personality, for example, when I see my daughters, or I see my parents, they feel that, that thankful from inside of them, that they don't even imagine that you could do such a good gesture to them.
exactly.
So it's absolutely different, because narcissistic personalities, they always shift that no matter how much time you spend, no matter how much, like, I remember I bought a telescope, a huge one, to because my ex really liked to watch stars. And when I bring it for his birthday, he said, oh, I wanted the telescope for nature views, not so
Yes.
big one. And it's
Yes.
like, it's a huge disappointment, because
It's
next
a
time,
huge
okay,
disappointment.
so I need to buy him the other one, the next, like his birthday, that he would be happy. And this is continuously.
Yes, it becomes a pattern. They're never happy, and there's a disappointment, and they always find a fault whatever you do. And if you want to show them, look, this is something I did, this is, you show them like happily in a pleasant mood, just to make the environment better, and they always find a fault somewhere inside. Maybe the amount of money you spent, or the type of the the quality or the type of the stuff that you bought or the act of kindness that you did or any gesture that you took, they always find a fault in it. They always find something wrong with it. Even moments of celebrations, he used to ruin those. Always said something that put me down. Whenever I invited his family over, and it was his family. My family doesn't even live in this country, right? And his family lives here. I used to invite them, for different occasions, and he used to insult me in front of them. Where did you put this dish, or where have you hidden it? Give it, bring it over. I mean, I'm doing this for you, and I have cooked so much food. I have made all these preparations, spent my energy and time into this. You should be thankful, or not thankful, then just be happy with it and go with the flow. But he's insulting me in front of his family by picking little, faults in what I did not do, or accidentally or forgetfully did not pay attention to. This is what he's noticing. This is what he's highlighting. This is very heartbreaking, and it can be very nerve wracking in the moment. It was very
Yes.
hurtful.
Yes, I agree because I remember those moments when you truly do something for the person and you are expecting that beautiful emotions, that happiness. You want to make him feel good, and you see a disappointment always with the blame.
Yes,
So
exactly. Blame
and
shifting.
it's
Yeah.
like, and then you feel so bad because in general you are spending so much time thinking, organizing. It doesn't matter what it is, but yes, in the healthy relationship, that was the suggestions that I also was hearing, like spend more time together, maybe go to travel somewhere, maybe spend a weekend somewhere out, or have the evening together. And I know every time if I organize something, it would be bad in one or other way.
Exactly.
And it
Exactly.
will repeat and repeat and repeat. And it's just like, because this would be bad, or this would be bad, or that was like not in a way that he expected, or not the time that he expected, or like I was asking him. We can talk about multiple things, but yes, this is what is also involved in the admiration. I think because no matter how much you value that person and how much you care, you see the details that he likes when you see him with other persons, or he is telling you that he likes that. And when you give it to that person, he's
He's
just pushing you away.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And I also want to add here. I forgot what I want to say. I wanted to say. I'm sorry. Constant need of admiration. Yes. So there's a point that I always raise and comes to my mind is the level and the amount of hypocrisy that they don't praise you for anything that you do for them, that they crave that they should be praised. So that is very hypocrite. That is very double standard on their part, that they don't do it, but they expect it from you. And they little do they realize that every relationship is two-way. It's not like you are the one who's getting, receiving and receiving, but not giving. So this is not the way a normal, healthy relationship works. Um, so yeah, the double standard, the hypocrisy is also one part of their personality.
Yes, and I want a little bit now to shift to the work environment with the narcissistic personalities, because this is also where the constant admiration is visible very well. Because not in just in a romantic relationship, but at work we also, can have a relationship with a narcissistic, and we have to work with the narcissistic personalities. So, how you would see that personalities acting at work environment?
I well, not in the working environment. I haven't. Well, let me think. It's a very good question. It makes me think, because there are toxic people. There are narcissists at work as well. They're everywhere, of course.
while you're thinking, I can share my
Or you share
experience.
your
Okay,
perspective
then
and
you will
I
come up because
resonate with.
I just shift the topic, so it's quite hard, for you because
Yeah,
it was in
go
my
ahead.
mind.
I might remember somebody, some experience from you or what you are sharing, and I might
Yes.
resonate and start talk. Share my experience.
So I had a work environment that it was not once, but I just share what is very close to me right now. So when usually at work we all have our, how to say, our responsibilities at work. It's
Yes,
always necessary. And you know what you are responsible for, what you have to do, what is the baseline of your work. And I had that colleague who was not never doing his responsibilities, never doing his work. And when you talk with that personality, he is having so much task that it looks like he's working so much, but when you look at like directly at the work, he's doing nothing.
nothing.
And and I was in that relationship also involved during my divorces very closely because of that a misunderstanding myself, going through a lot. And I was like doing everything because I see that nothing is working because that person is not doing. And I was starting to do everything. And what is happening, how it shifts, then I was asking him to do his responsibilities. And
Yes,
even for doing his small responsibilities, not all, but one part of his responsibility, for example, one task, I was, admiring him for that.
yes,
This is where you are like, it's very simple, like at home, but in the work relationship, it's more visible because you see that that person in general is doing nothing, just
nothing.
talking a lot, how busy he is and how much he did
Absolutely.
like year ago or a month ago, and
Hmm.
what the tasks are in front. And also by you have to ask to do his responsibilities, and by that you have to admire him that
Yes,
how good he was that you did what you're supposed to do.
yes, exactly. For the normal responsibilities that you're supposed to do, they need constant approval for that. They, look at me, I did that. Just look at me, I'm so wonderful, I did this. And this is something that I expected of you, right? What's the big deal here? That's
This is
that's
why
what
you are getting your salary. So it's
exactly. If you don't do this, you don't get to pay your bills, man. You got better do it, right? This is what the
yes.
normal way of thinking is. But they they're delusional. They are delusional. They think that really something superior, superwoman kind of people that they should be admired all the time. They're delusional, definitely. I cannot think of any example at work right now. I might think after we make a call. Sometimes when we think about the things that we, remember afterwards. But definitely in society, in my community, there is a person that I already spoke about. She is. It's all about her. Whenever she steps into the room, it's all about her. She wears all those fancy clothes. She will buy the most expensive bags and shoes and wants to get attention from everybody. She will start talking very loud to everybody so that everybody pays attention to her, and creates a big drama, loud voices, and starts talking loud, right? So that everybody, it's natural for the people to pay attention to a loud voice. And she thinks that people are liking her, people are listening to her, and she's talking and talking, and she's praising about herself. She has a big persona in front of people, that she's the most beautiful, the busiest and richest person, the wealthiest person in the whole community. And the people buy that. That's one thing that some people buy into that, some people don't. They're smart. But when her husband says that she does nothing at home. She pretends to be very busy at her laptop, but when we see what she's doing at the laptop, she's just buying stuff. She's just buying expensive stuff, doing online shopping, or just browsing the social media. She's not working, but she has just portrayed this to the whole family, to her kids and her husband, that she's very busy at work. She's making notes, she's doing work at home, she's busy, so that she doesn't have to do anything at home, she doesn't have to take care of anything at home, and husband is the one who's taking care of everything at home. So this is how they do it, this is how they play their games, and this is how they show to people that they're the best, and people come to the conclusion, oh my god, she's got it all, she's such a, she's got it all, she's a wow.
Yes, and I also agree that some people are like buying that because, and not just in the community, but also at work, there are people who truly believe that that
Yes.
person really do a lot of work.
Yes.
He's really working hard, and they are even starting to support him. And what is happening, like maybe we will talk more on the other topic, but what is happening by that admiration and pretending that they are doing a lot for the admiration, they starting to give their job to do to others by
Hmm.
helping them. This
Exactly.
is also a very like they will ask other people to do the things that they're supposed to do, and after that they represent it as their work
Yes.
to be admired for that.
Yes.
And then others are feeling happy because what you just mentioned about that woman and your community, she's now a superstar, and to be next to the superstar is super cool.
Exactly.
So for that, you need to please her. So it means you need to do what she's asking
Absolutely.
just to be next to her. And
Exactly.
for that, those people are pleasing, they are suffering, they are doing the work that that personality is supposed to do. And what is happening after? They don't have that acceptance from that person,
Yes.
because it's like narcissistic personalities behaving this not just with a romantic personality, but also romantic relationship, but also at work relationship, also at the community relationship, friends. They are being with the people just till they can gain something from them.
Use you.
Yes.
Yeah, just to use you. Yes, absolutely. They're using you. They say that you are her friend, but actually, all her relationships or all their relationships are to use other person for their own something, to get something what they want. And unfortunately, some people who are not the I don't know, this, they could be spouses or they could be anybody. They just cannot get out of that vicious cycle from that narcissist, because they have, it's like they are trapped, and they feel that their hands are tied, but they just can't get out of that trap. And I just feel like they're so weak. I'm sad to say that. I'm kind of I feel unpleasant to say that, but these people are weak, who feel that they're trapped with this person, and they just have to be with that person. Otherwise, I don't know what will happen to them. There's a fear. uh, so that's another thing that they create. The narcissists create something in order to get all those praises and get what they want. They set a whole group of people around them that will support them, that will empathize with them, sympathize with them, and play victim sometimes in front of them or in front of people, and get support from them, get what they want, though they are the ones who are the actually oppressors or wrongdoers. That's alarming.
Yes, and now I want to go to the next step in our discussion. We a little bit talked what is happening when you are not admiring in the romantic relationship that person, that he's starting to be aggressive and abusive. But what you see, how is changing the behavior? For example, in the community, if that person don't get the admiration, if he is coming into the party or coming somewhere, and he's not getting that need of admiration, because it can be some, but he's not getting the way he is imagining.
Mhm.
What is happening then? Because they cannot behave so abusive, outside because they want to show themselves in the picture that they imagine. What is happening in home, we know it's abusive behavior, but
Mhm.
how you see it's in the outside home.
So what happens, what I have seen here, that when they find their where they see in the social situations where they see that they can get their feed from, the right audience or the right people for them, they only move into those social situations, or social gatherings. Whenever they see that there's no attention is given to them, there is no admiration going on there, people are not giving any importance to them, they actually sometimes start talking bad about them or start moving in that circle, and only choose those gatherings or those situations where they are admired. So they are very picky, very choosy, very smart, very clever in picking their social circles, and only go there where they are getting their narcissistic feed, their narcissistic supply. They are very sharp at figuring out that where they are, valued. Not, I mean, valued means getting their attention or getting their admiration or getting their supply, right? So they are very sharp at that. So they will figure it very quickly. They will figure it out very quickly that, this is not their, this is not their get any supply from. So they withdraw from that. Only move there when they're, when, and that, so I even know that they make phone calls, and whenever they get an invitation, they make phone calls to their friends, right? And ask them, are you invited? Okay, just reserve a seat for me, reserve a seat for me, I'm coming, and let's plan together, let's plan to go together, to have some kind of support there, for their so-called friends, so-called supporters. So this is how they move around. But sadly, I want to say that there are always going to be some people who are weak. I say that they're weak, that they don't have any self-respect, who are going to support this kind of narcissist just to be in that super cool or super popular company. There are gonna be there. It's a whole scam, if you will. It's a whole different world, and they are going to be their supporters. That's very sad thing to say, but that's how it is. That's what it is.
Yes, I agree about that because when I see, definitely they choose the environment where they are seen, where they can get that admiration 100%. A very good thing what you are telling, that they are start to gossiping
Mm-hmm.
and making others don't like the person who is not admiring or who is starting to put boundaries. They are working behind their back,
Mm-hmm.
and very sad, because that there always will be people who sympathize to narcissistic personalities because of the need of themselves to work with themselves, to do that inner work, and to to clear and understand about themselves who they are and who they are not. Because it's very natural that personalities who are, I'm included in that, who don't do their inner work, they are trapped in the narcissistic personalities, in the relationship with narcissistic personalities. But when you start to do that inner work, to start to understand yourself, starting to put the boundaries and not be afraid to lose someone,
Mm-hmm.
because usually it's about the relationship and about your childhood, teenage age experiences. Those who are not doing that work, they will stay because they are sympathize with that, always betray, always pushing you down, you needing that to yourself, to feel yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you are not able to feel who you truly are without that. So
Exactly.
yes, I think that, because in one point there is always like, if there will be applauses, the narcissistic personality will come.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And opposite, if there's a narcissistic personality, there will be some people who will applaud him.
Yes, exactly. They're
So
only
I
going to.
think, like in general, we need to think and work in both ways. In first way, to ask or to find the narcissistic personalities who agree to work and understand that they can be like treated, healed, they can work on themselves, and also on the other side, we have to work to victims who are victims of the narcissistic personalities in a multiple way, not just at romantic relationship, at work, also in communities as friends or as other family members, like to help them to look into themselves, understand where you need to put boundaries. And because I know from my experience that you can change relationship with the narcissistic personalities, at least with you, if you will be strong and very clear with the boundaries.
Absolutely, this is possible. This is possible because, in general, you wouldn't. I mean, nobody, any normal person would not want to be with a narcissistic person. But sometimes we have to, right? Sometimes we don't have any choice. You have to learn how to be stronger, how to know yourself better, how to, develop your own identity, know your identity, know who you are, and set up the boundaries. So this way, it is possible. um, you might have to use some kind of therapist, need to talk to, a trusted person, family or friend or any professional. But yes, it is possible. And I have seen many many people, many victims of the narcissistic abuse who are living together because they had no choice for whatever reason. And they're still in a marriage, and the partner is managing those relationships, and it is working from them for them. For me, I come from a totally different world. For me, marriage is very sacred. Marriage is very sacred. It's an institution itself, and the spouses are to comfort each other, not to insult or give each other hard times. So that's why I said no to and stepped out. Because for me, it was not a marriage. For me, it was not a real relationship. It was just managing something and not coming from the real place of comfort and real place of sincerity. So yeah, it didn't mean that relationship or marriage was not meaningful to me. But again, the decision is up to the spouses. It's up to the victim. That's if he wants to stay or not, how much he wants to deal with it. But yes, it's manageable, definitely, and the narcissists can get help to get better, to look better, so that they can more of what they want by getting into therapy and some kind of healing programs. Yes, that's the good news.
Yes, and I also want to agree. Like it's always a choice to stay or to leave. Our both choice was to leave and to get out of that relationship, because I know that there can be like, and from my clients, there can be a very complicated situation because they are abusing like physically, sexually, psychologically, financially, like by children manipulations, a lot of things that you can act smart also, not
Exactly.
to get more risk to yourself and to your kids. So with narcissistic personality, when you understand that you are trapped in manipulation, you need to act very smart. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot act out of emotions because they can destroy you, because you are breaking their picture,
Mm-hmm.
how they imagine, because for them it's absolutely comfort. So that's why even if you choose to stay, there is a hard choice to do, and if you choose to break the relationships, also a very hard thing. And it's not a healthy relationship where two people sit down and tell, okay, we cannot be together. I see that you are different and I'm different, and let's go to the separate roads. It's not like that. Narcissist is absolutely opposite. You will see all the mess that is possible,
Yes.
and the worst ones and the best ones, they will try everything. So it's a very hard journey.
Yes.
And also in the communities, as you mentioned, and at the work environment, as you mentioned, and also as your family, like parents and siblings, You cannot get out. You cannot get divorced with that. You
Yes.
have to go to work. You have to go to that community because you belong there and you see there is your people who you love and who you like. This
Yes.
is where I think you need to learn how to put boundaries, how to talk with that persons, how to be clear where you are and where is that person.
Mhm.
And when narcissistic personalities in this environment, not in a romantic relationship, understands the rules, they will start to treat you differently.
Yes.
It can be a very healthy
Mhm.
relationship as much as they could be.
Mhm.
This is just my insights.
Yes, absolutely. You can definitely learn how to put boundaries. You can definitely learn. Everything can be learned. And there is so much help out there. There's so much support out there. It's just, if you're willing to do that, you have to be willing, you have to be willing to put the work out there. You have to be willing to train yourself how to behave, because there we cannot put ourselves into a shell and expect everything to be nice and rosy. There are going to be this kind of people in your life, and it's good to be smart. It's good to be a learned person, and get that you know the training done, if you will. So yes, I agree with you 100%. It's a part of living. It's a part of learning all the time.
And everyone or those who thinks that they are in a narcissistic relationship one or other way, they can contact you or me. We are working there and we know how we can help as much as we can, so please be open and reach out to us. And I want to thank you, Alia, for this conversation. I
You're
think
welcome.
we go very deep in the this topic about constant need of admiration for everyone to understand. So maybe you want to sum up and tell the last message to everyone who listens our conversation.
Yes. So, narcissists can be everywhere. They can be anywhere and everywhere. They can be in your relationships, romantic. In your parents can be narcissists. Your children can be narcissists. Your siblings, or anybody, your friends, or any community member can be a narcissist, and they can be very hard to handle. It's your choice, especially if you're in a spousal, in a marital relationship. It's your choice to stay or to leave. But there are some situations, like blood relative, that you cannot get rid of. So learn, and there's support out there. Get guidance, and you can make those things better, those situations better. And it is workable, it is manageable. It's just that you have to be willing to learn, getting all the information. And if you want, I can give you more free resources. And Mr. Aminta can also add her name over here, contact info here. We help out these I help out female survivors of narcissism, of how to survive and how to heal. And Raminta helps them coach. She's gonna give her information. And don't hesitate to call us. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We give free education about narcissism all the time.
Okay, so thank you very much, and I would be very happy. I'm waiting, and I'm very happy for our next serial, when we will talk about the other topics. So thank you very much, and see you next time.
Bye.